made it out to the sandbar. This is an island right here. So maybe we'll go do some exploring. I heard some stories. One story I heard was the Indians were protesting the US government and they all moved out and lived on these islands. And then after that came and went, the hippies during the 60s protesting the government set up camp here. Now I heard in both cases they were eaten alive by bugs. So they got little no-see-ums here. And that's ultimately what would drive you out of these islands. As soon as the sun goes down, you are bug bait. I'm not sure what makes these little mounds, but I'm sure there's some sort of clam or something under there. But at high tide, this is all underwater. And you can see where the mangroves are. That's kind of high tide mark. So, pretty cool island. Let's go check it out. The oyster beds and the mangroves are both protected by law. These structures, all intertwined, are indestructible. They can withstand hurricanes and everything else. But you wouldn't want to have to walk across this. This would just shred your feet. And it's against the law to walk across it anyway, so you're really not supposed to disturb it. But it's pretty neat. Little tidal pools out here at the island. And you can see today, we're not alone. So this is a pretty popular spot today. But look at this little tidal pool. It's got some little fish swimming in it. Here's a little hermit crab. What you doing, hermit crab? There's another little hermit crab. You can find these snail shells with the snails still in them. Sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to disturb you. Conchs. I believe they're completely edible, but I'm not going to try it. There's the mangrove roots with the oysters growing on them. Pretty cool. It's hard to believe these things can withstand hurricanes. These would be completely underwater. Raging waves, 100-mile-an-hour winds, and they managed to hold the whole beach together. Should have brought some swim shoes. Probably would have been a good idea. Look at this mangrove. Its roots from this tree are not even in the sand. Of course, it's got all these outshoots that are buried in the sand. It's crazy. And when these plants die, they have natural rot resistant, like cedar wood. So the dead stand for a very long time, from what I understand. So where we're at, this is considered tropical. Just to the north of us is subtropical, meaning it could freeze. And if these guys freeze, they die, and it takes forever for them to be replaced. So that's just something I heard along the way. But they're naturally rot resistant wood. Obviously they live in the water, so they gotta have some immunity to the rot. But what a tangled mess. Totally inhospitable for man. Still walking. See 2 sunken sailboats. Let's see if we can make our way over there. Do some exploring. It's a nice little section of beach. We're fortunate it's low tide right now. And the sun definitely doing its thing. Pretty warm out here, and I didn't bring any food or drinks. I'm just doing a quick trip of the island. I want to get over and see these abandoned sailboats. But there's a whole interior in this island. I'm not quite sure how to get in there. It's probably get in through here. But inside, it's just sand dunes. It's real nice. And you can come out here and camp. Spend a weekend, spend a week, whatever you want to do. The big problem is finding a parking spot for your rig and getting over here with your kayak. But, you know, somebody can help you put your boat in the water and then head back home. You'll be all right. All right, we're getting close to the sailboat. It's just around the bend. And that one out there, this sailboat was on Craigslist for $300. And I remember because it had one big chunk missing out of it. And I saw it here and I said, oh, that's the one I just saw, not on Craigslist, on Facebook Marketplace. And then like a week later, it was sunk. It's been sitting there ever since. So, look at this sailboat. FWC. We got some profanity. This is pretty neat. That hull is still intact. Looks like a good sturdy boat. Hey, Mark from Wild Link Sailing. Check it out, man. Pretty sure you could have this old girl pretty cheap. Just kidding. I'm trying to get a sailboat. I want to be like you, Mark. Check out Wild Link Sailing. I think he's Wild Ling Sailing now. It used to be plural, now singular. Wow, that's a pretty complete sailboat. Still has lines attached. Windows. It hasn't been submerged because it's not filled with barnacles, but it's definitely been flooded. And it smells terrible in here. This is a complete sailboat. Hatches, windlass, bimini top. I forget the name of this thing. Your track? I don't know. I'm not a sailor. Just admire them on YouTube. Some hard work. This thing could be back on the high seas. Pretty neat. And her name, Second Wind. It's even got the serial number still on there. It's all nice stainless railings and everything. There's a lot of good salvage here. That's definitely a brass prop. Might look bad, but I guarantee that thing can still be brought back to life. Rudder still looks good. Skag. Alright, I gotta make tracks getting back. Hopefully my kayak is still there. I left it on the beach. Way down around that bend. So, let's go. A dolphin just popped up. They're almost impossible to catch on film. By the time your camera turns on, he's gone. There he was. Did you see him? I hope I caught that. There's dolphins out here fishing. Should have brought my fishing rod and some shrimp. There's another one. There's a couple dolphins in this little cove. I'm gonna try to get to the interior. I was getting ready to hustle all the way back down the beach, and I realized I never showed you guys the interior. And you gotta watch these cactuses. They got micro thorns. Ow. People have been back here. And you can see the interior is completely different. And the tide does come up this high. These islands go underwater quite often. All right, let me see if I can find a trail. This is all looking pretty dense. This crazy cedar tree. It's in the middle of the mangroves. Hard to tell, but that's the water right there. And that's the water right there. This is a really small island. And this is probably one of the biggest trees besides the palm trees. Wonder how long this cedar's been here. Pretty incredible. All the nooks and crannies and just wild. Just awesome. And I love the way the Looks like the tree is twisted as it grew. And this tree's very much still alive. That's green needles up there. Haven't exactly found a trail yet. It's still ducking. And I'm still clearing out the cobwebs with my face. I've already walked into like 3 spider webs. But I still haven't found where it opens up. I'm pretty far south on the island, the very southern tip. Maybe it'll open up when we get closer to the middle. And the other problem is there's no way back to the beach. So I'm kind of, I either find a trail to get me to the middle of the island, or I have to backtrack. Go all the way back the way I came. I think this is the trail here. And if you can see, I'm quite ducked to get through this stuff. But it's nice. It's cool back here. It's a lot cooler back here than it was at the beach. And it smells nice too. It smells like cedar and pine trees and fresh air. It's nice. Yeah, this has got to be the trail. It's not much of a trail. Here comes the dune. Have we made it? Have we made it to the middle of the island? Yes, we have. Oh, look at this. There she is. The center of the island. So I was trying to say, it looks inhospitable when you're at the beach. You can't get through those mangroves. This is the middle of the island. My kayak's parked this way. The Atlantic Ocean's that way. Mainland Florida's that way. So this is north. That's west. And out there, of course, is the Atlantic Ocean and the great beyond. That palm tree didn't survive, but it's pretty cool. It's quite a bit of desert out here too. There's no fresh water, so you don't see too many critters making a living out here. But it's a nice path. Should take me right to the beach, right where I parked the kayak. These cactus are pretty neat. And they do supply fruit. That's your prickly pear. You could eat them. I learned my lesson when I was a kid. I don't touch them. Those little microscopic thorns, they stick right in your skin. You can't get them out. Very painful. And you don't even know you have them for a while until they start to get sore. There's another one. We're like in a basin. All around us is a sand dune. Like I said, that's the river. And out that way is the ocean. And I'm heading north right now. This whole little pan, we're like in a pan. And it's surrounded by a sand dune. I almost think it's man-made, but who knows? Maybe it's just naturally occurring from the wave action. I don't know. But this is definitely worth exploring. Don't forget to bring a drink, some water, maybe a snack. It's pretty hot out here. I have no break from the sun. But we'll see where this trail goes. Pretty neat. And this is something I heard too. Now you think Florida, you think palm trees. But somebody told me palm trees were brought here by man. There were no palm trees in Florida. I don't know if that's true or not, but Florida still has plenty of them growing wild. And these cedars, they smell so good. And again, cedar is one of those naturally rot resistant woods, so it can live out in very wet environments. And apparently they can take very dry environments, so they don't need a lot of water. All right, I found humans, found civilization. I found the fork in the road. Which way do I go? Right or left? Oh, let's go left. Another trail heading back that way. So it's a pretty neat little island. If nothing else, it's a nice walk and a canoe paddle to get out here. Kayak paddle, excuse me. This is it, the end of the island. I can see the water. Again, like I said, this place is surrounded by this dune. It's just crazy. And I kind of wonder, is this naturally occurring? Or is this man-made? And it surrounds the entire island. So we're back. Let's go see if our kayak is still here. I'm back on the disappearing beach. Like I said, all this is completely underwater at high tide. And you see boats trying to cross here and they're getting stuck, and I can't understand why, because it looks like you're in the middle of a big river. But the reality is, it's quite shallow. And I can see the kayak. It's right there. And camp is right on the other side of the river there. Now there's hundreds, and I mean hundreds of these islands. I explored that one last year. It's pretty cool. Some of these you can't, they don't have an interior. They're just all mangroves and you really can't explore them. But we're gonna say goodbye to the island, head back to camp, get me a drink, maybe a snack, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Get ready to shove off. The hardest part is getting in and out of these things. I wish I had a cameraman to show you how awesome. That's it, we're floating. Nice Key West boat. Got the tunes going. Kind of got the wind at our back. I'm paddling with one hand too, by the way. Which, surprisingly enough, it's working. Tide's going that way. Wind is going that way. So between the two, we'll see what happens. We made it. Across the river. Back to the mainland.